Both these teams, I think, understand the significance of this match at this point in the group stage. So here we go, and Milo's gotten flank here, by the way, single every single time. Um, so yeah, let's see. Let's start with the Argentinians again. This time it's going to be Milo, Mongols, flank. Who's we'll take a further look at his. I want to get around to each player this time, which I haven't been able to do in any of the games so far. It's Maxi who's going to be his pocket playing as Huns here. Who's just now getting his sheep back in. Pretty good spot. All the way back here, kind of way against the edge. It's Aramis in the gray playing as Mayans. So, well, as mentioned earlier, I mean, of course, Mayans pocket, you have options to either go for the plumes or go for a sling. We'll see what he ends up choosing. And his flank here, it's Siegfried playing as Spanish. Spanish flank be interesting, of course, since you don't have the option of expos. So we'll see what kind of actions he ends up taking here. He does have kind of some forward resources here, potentially open. You can see his main gold, main stone, and his second gold. You can already see LeBlanc saying he wishes he could have restarted this one. He is the flank that's coming up against Siegfried here, the Spanish player. It's Mongols for LeBlanc, who is having difficulty deciding where he wants to put his lumber camp. Looks like he's now decided to go over here to Mars. Not quite sure why he didn't go there earlier. Well, I guess it is pretty open. You can see the entire north side of his base. There's no obstructions at all, really. It's a kind of free open area to run through, which also houses his main gold and his berries for that matter, as he's again gone for this early boar as Mongols. 2 sheep carcasses, but they're quite low. He'll obviously not lose too much there, and it's Hassan who's going to be LeBlanc's pocket here, I should say, playing in the pink. You can see he's already moving that second deer back towards the town center. You can see the carcass of the first one. Ooh, and a bit of a mistake there for Hassan. Lets that deer get away, as he's perhaps worried about this boar that he was trying to lure. And going on to the opposite side, it's B. Myers playing under the name, B. Money, who, without Loom, what is he? Oh my god, where is he? Oh, that is just tragic for him. He immediately sends one out over to get that, but he's gonna have to get another sheep in the meantime. That is not a good start for him. Certainly wishes the restarts were available. Well, actually, that was after the 4 minutes, so they would have been screwed no matter what. But anyway, it is Spanish pocket here for B. Myers, who's now finally got this boar to cooperate, and I'm sure he'll take care of business there. And as mentioned, Whack Mayans flank here at the top side of the map. So it's an interesting kind of layout. Whack is probably more comfortable as a pocket, but we'll see. I think he can handle his own as the Mayan player here. What may be interesting, and you can see actually LeBlanc getting the gold already, and you love that. That's pretty solid right there. You can see with the gold and the berries right next to each other, he gathers the 10 gold, and then puts that villager to queue up on building that mill, so it drops off the 10 gold. That's pretty clever there. So, why don't we switch to him real quick. Does seem that it will be a drush coming from him, as opposed to the scouts you may sometimes see from the Mongol player. Siegfried here, he's, as mentioned, Spanish flank. It can always be a little tricky. He's not gotten the gold, and he's starting this wall right in the front of his base, as you can see, popping that down. He's trying to push these deer, but he's kind of maybe not quite paying attention. But yeah, throwing these walls over and around. And yeah, there's the barracks from LeBlanc. Why don't we take a look at what's going on up top here? Milo is, yeah, he is doing the 20 pop Mongol up, and you can fully expect scouts to be coming from him. Whack is going for Drush, but he's, well, it's going to get there a bit late, I think. You do see Whack does have this eagle there. Oh, and he maybe convinced Milo to make that barracks a little more conservatively there. Here come the militia coming out now. And, well, his base is starting to close up a bit. You can see the way that he's going to wall over here. Siegfried, meanwhile, yeah, he's just going to put up a big wall. He's already mining the stone, but it's LeBlanc's going to see it. This will be interesting. We'll see how LeBlanc responds to what he's seeing from Siegfried. In the meantime, here come the 3 militia from Whack. Looks like he was going for the berries here. There's the feudal age that's now up for Milo in the yellow here. Enter the void, popping up that stable with 4 villagers. And he's actually only got 1 berry miner, berry gatherer, whatever you want to call it. Ooh, and he managed to pick off a villager there that I guess was a little weak over by the wall that Whack was trying to build. Nice find by him, but now he's going to have to run away these villagers that he had thought he could safely move on to the berries. You can see B. Myers also got his scout there to help out, and oh man, just a mess of walls and houses that Siegfried's putting up here, but you can see he's blocked off half of his stone now as LeBlanc can get to the... Oh, he's going to pick off a villager. 1 villager down for Siegfried, and now he can go on to these berry patch for Siegfried there. Whack, meanwhile, is going to have to deal with a couple of scouts that are now coming out for the Mongol player. Milo in the yellow, who... Well, this gold is going to be a little bit interesting for Whack. You can see him taking the hill here, and now he's going to turn around and try to fight against these scouts, gets a few good hits on them. Meanwhile, over here, it's Vil War and another dead villager for Siegfried. This is not a good start for as LeBlanc's telling Hassan all the stuff that he's been able to do without him. Yeah, and you can obviously recognize that it's an attempt at going for conquistadors here for Siegfried. Here are the militia for Whack. They're now going to get outnumbered by these scouts with the help of Maxi coming in from the orange. And, well, they're taking more damage than you would really like to see. These are, of course, scouts which are, potentially more useful, more expensive units than the militia, but now they're gonna kind of handle their business. And, well, Whack, of course, can safely just wall up his gold, knowing he only has to worry about scouts. He's got such a weird-looking base, but I guess it's safe. Meanwhile, still 2 militia left for LeBlanc, who's gonna get an archer range. Is he going fast cast, or is he gonna go for archers? Well, let's see. His base is still a bit vulnerable. You can see the forward gold that he doesn't really have much protection for. Meanwhile, it's Stonewall's coming here for Aramis, who, of course, as we mentioned, was the Mayan pocket player, so we very well are likely to see a sling here. Let me switch to him and see where that sling's going. Elsewhere, more standardish pocket play here from Maxi, putting up a stable and a blacksmith, which Hassan is, I would expect, doing the same. Yeah, indeed, he is. So is B. Myers over here in the red. There's these 2 militia, which can't quite get into the base of Siegfried at the moment. Aramis, you can see, he's got his main gold, and his trees are a bit on the edge of his walls, but he'll probably be okay. He'll be safe, and he is slinging Siegfried here indeed. So the sling will be coming into Siegfried, who's Got the... Okay, he's just now clicked up. Bit slower than you would have liked. Of course, taking a bit more damage than you would have liked from LeBlanc's Drush, who's now sending 2 archers forward. And keep in mind, this part of the wall isn't complete. So he can park right outside these gold miners and these stone miners and do damage. So this is going to be nice for him. In the meantime, here's scouts coming in from Milo, but it is good job by B. Myers, good communication between their teammates to get those walls up and keep his villagers safe. And yeah, look at that. Great job by LeBlanc here to get all these villagers going back. Of course, though, he will be getting that sling coming in from Arama, so it's not really the end of the world for him. He can rely on, well, I mean, look at all the gold he's got stockpiled. He's already got the stone as well, but that's why I'm saying it would have been, of course, a lot better for him if he could have got to Castle Age sooner. Barracks going up for him as well. Here are the scouts for Milo. He's, well, not going to be able to do too much as Castle Age is reached for most of the pocket players here. Let's see, Hassan, I expect to do, yeah, 1 stable, 3 town center. He did say that's his preferred strategy. Get a bit of a small boom going. Get 3 TCs, get handcart, and then start pumping out the knights. For B. Myers here, it's, well, his economy maybe took a bit of a hit from having to build all these walls. You can see he's just 1 stable and 1 TC, which is a little confusing. But it's LeBlanc and Hassan here who are going to break through this mining camp, and this castle is a little slow here from Siegfried. They can actually slow it down quite a bit, especially once those crossbows get there. I mean, all these villagers are coming, and it is, of course, with the Spanish bonus, so it will get up. But look at all the villagers that Siegfried's going to have to commit here, although then he will be, of course, in a good position to kill all these archers that will be parked under this castle. As Hassan's already moving away, the castle is now up, the villagers pop into it, and you can expect crossbows to come momentarily. LeBlanc's going to retreat, but he's going to take a lot of arrows to the face from these crossbows. Meanwhile, look at all these archers that Whack has, but unfortunately he's running up against knights at the moment. Coming from the pocket of the Argentinian team, it's Maxi playing his Huns in the orange. With a couple of knights there. Ooh, this could be bad again for Siegfried, but he's just got so many villagers there that he'll only lose like 1 or 2, and then he'll pop them into the town center. 1 villager down, 2 villagers down, 3 villagers down. But he's at least safe for the moment. He needs to move this Conquistador, though. He doesn't want to lose it. Oh, wow. He does, as you can see, have Bloodlines and +2. He's already got all the upgrades he possibly could have for those Conquistadors. Meanwhile, it's crossbows for Whack here as he tries to defend this town center he needs to get onto this gold mine. Hassan is, sorry, I should say that's B. Myers here, who's got 3 knights there, and okay, now he's on 3, yeah, so it's 1 stable, 3 town center from both of the pockets for the American team. 3 Conquistadors are out, but it's needs to be a little careful. He's taking uphill hits from these crossbows. Now he's going to back away. But he's quickly approaching a kind of critical mass that you need of those Conquistadors to be incredibly effective with the hit and runs, even against knights, whatever it may be. Maxi, meanwhile, is headed into the base here of B. Myers, forcing him back into the town center. And actually is going to, well, Milo's actually the one who's going to pick off the villager there. Job by him. Oh, a little rally point mistake there by Maxi. He's taking a lot of damage on that knight. And, well, you can hear the sling continue to come in. Maxi, Bloodlines, and 1 armor upgrade trying to do some damage here on B. Myers' base. Quick look at the pops. It's Hassan who's got the population lead at the moment at 55. He's quite spread out, but it is 3 TCs that he's obviously able to support pretty well. But, well, LeBlanc needs to be careful. He is parked, of course, on this hill with those Expos, but he is significantly out-upgraded here. He's only got fletching versus fully upgraded conquistadors for Castle Age, at least here. Meanwhile, Whack going forward, I know who he can get onto the other side of this wood here of Milo. That's, of course, going to be quite bad for him. And it's going to be an engagement here with these conquistadors. Here comes like 3 more from the back from Siegfried, and he's doing, oh, look at the way he moves, and LeBlanc isn't able to pick the same target. Of course, he's so outnumbered there, he's always in trouble. And now he's going to have to, unfortunately, give up the hill, which is bad for him. Meanwhile, over here on the top side of the map, pushing back again towards the base of Whack, it looks like it's going to be Maxi and Milo slowly making their way over there, although Whack's done a good job. You can see all these skeletons by that wood camp that Milo's going to have to abandon for the moment. Running in with these conquistadors, just avoiding that town center fire. And, oh, LeBlanc's going to have to run all these woodcutters. He is now Castle Age, so he will move down to the south here to get that TC up where he can safely mine wood again. This would be really bad if Siegfried runs down here, and he very well may. Oh, this could be so terrible for LeBlanc. He could lose a ton of villagers here, as we may have an engagement up top. We'll keep our tabs on that. But, oh my god, it's going to be an absolute slaughter for LeBlanc here. Look at all these villagers. He's already starting to run them away. He knows that town center was not going to get up, I suppose. Meanwhile, Wax in kind of full retreat here. Where is B. Meyer's army? I'm not sure. But he is at least getting some hits from the town center. But that is really bad news for LeBlanc there. Oh, man. Meanwhile, Whack trying to retreat onto this hill where he can get some good hits onto these knights from Maxi, which don't have the +2 armor just yet. Here's a couple of knights to help him out from B. Myers. But he's now getting hit on that wood camp. He's going to have to run away, obviously, with those crossbows. Chucking those arrows over the trees there. As LeBlanc will keep those conquistadors busy with those crossbows while he gets that town center up, which he badly needs. But actually, Siegfried's not quite paying attention there. He kind of was attacking this lumber camp a bit. But he will take out those expos. And LeBlanc is in a world of hurt here. Meanwhile, parking on this hill, just kind of sitting there waiting for them to come to him, is Whack, along with B. Myers. But yeah, as mentioned, I mean, LeBlanc completely off this gold. He does have gold down here. I'm not sure he sees it. Where is actually his third gold? Oh, his third gold is so forward. Could be trouble. Excuse me. But San's at the point of his kind of pocket play where he's gonna start putting out a ton of knights. Oh, but now it's actually conquistadors. He didn't completely wall this. You can see there's an opening. He doesn't have a heads up, and he's gonna get this town center denied. Oh, Siegfried, just perfect timing getting in here. And now, I mean, these knights are not really going to be, I don't think he's got the numbers. Oh, look at even more conquistadors coming from Siegfried as well. Siegfried just needs to micro this and he'll be okay. Meanwhile, oh, it looks like B. Myers lost all his knights there. Or, well, not all, but a couple of knights there. Whack still trying to do his best to stay on the hill. Take that hill advantage as much as he can. Hassan giving chase to some of these conquistadors as Siegfried kind of parks in the corner. Is now going to blast away at those knights, going to take them down. That's nice job by him.
Yes.
Maxi with these knights. Just kind of little cat and mouse between him and Whack. Trying to get Whack down from that hill. As Hassan's actually got light cap. Why does he have light cap? I'm not quite sure why. He's also got a knight from Maxi that's managed to make his way down here into his base. As oh man, Siegfried on the hill with the conquistadors would be so deadly, but he's got to go kind of back and hit and run, and now he's firing uphill a bit. But he'll fix that situation shortly. He's actually only been doing this on one castle, and it is going to be 2 castles now momentarily. And it looks like, well, I'm not sure who has husbandry, who doesn't. But it is now Mello enter the void here in the yellow, who's trying to make his way with his Expos towards the base of B. Myers, but I think he's just going to get outnumbered here as B. Myers tries to go for this round. He's going to try to get into this crevice in the forest, but it is firing uphill. I'm not sure this is the best spot ever for him. There still looks like a large surface area of which the Knights can kind of get up close and personal with those Expos. They're also getting converted, so B. Myers will look like take care of business there. Siegfried, in the meantime, continuing to have to run away. It looks like Hassan is catching up as if Siegfried doesn't have husbandry and Hassan does. Not entirely sure that's the case. But now he's uphill and Hassan's going to have to back away, which he does. He does actually manage to take out 2 more of these Conquistadors down here. It's really pretty nice play by Hassan. The downside for them, of course, is that, well, LeBlanc is quite far behind, but he does now have this castle up in front of that gold mine on top of that hill, so he'll be able to get his way, work his way back into this game. And you can see Whack, score-wise and population-wise, is ahead of Milo here. B. Myers a little bit behind Maxi as Imperial Age is now reached by Siegfried. And yeah, it took a bit long to realize it was a sling, but yeah, they are recognizing it is a sling. Obviously, going onto the Spanish player Siegfried here, who's now switching onto Knights. You can see he's got about 7 stables up. Researching Cavalier, he's already got the +2 armor upgrade, and there's, well, it looks like Whack and B. Myers are able to chase away the armies of Maxi and Milo here. Both players with Knights here, +2 armor, +1 attack. Fairly even on this front. On the bottom is where it could be interesting. I mean, again, still with this feudal age sling that we've seen from Aramis here pretty much the whole game. You would like to see, as an Argentinian player, you need to see it pay off. It's paid off already, obviously, with the damage that are done to LeBlanc, but yes, with this Imperial Age push coming from Siegfried, you'd really like to see a lot of damage that he would be able to do, as obviously Aramis going to be behind economically the longer the game goes on. Whack, meanwhile, trying to put up this castle here as B. Myers is running back a lot. Wants a little bit of fire from maybe the town center and these crossbows here. So we appear to have a small pause. Yep, and it is going to be Siegfried here kind of trying to head towards the base of Hassan, but Hassan has so many more knights he needs to wait, I think. Or maybe he can just go raid. No, he's going to back away. He needs to mass up a bit more. Let's see Hassan. Is Hassan going to be in... Yeah, he's just started Imperial Age upgrade. As Siegfried tries to take this hill and turn around, but Hassan is not going to quite fall for that. Meanwhile, going over here by the base of Whack. Whack not able to get this castle up just yet, but it looks like they're in pretty good shape. There's a ton of crossbows here that Whack does have. Maxi's going to have to back away for the time being. B. Myers seems to have a lot of his army kind of back at home here at the moment. Coming back for more, though, it's Siegfried. Is he going to try to take the hill here from Hassan, who's... Ooh, most of the knights from Hassan, he doesn't really quite pay attention. Look at all of them coming away from the fight. Now they run back, but... well, it still looks to me like Hassan does have maybe too many. The Cavalier, he actually only has the Imperial Age armor upgrade. He's only got +1 attack, does Siegfried here. And it looks to me like Hassan is gonna hold on here for the moment. You can see he's actually running away with a bunch more Cavaliers. Yeah, he's handled this very well. USA has taken the point lead here. And can we see, we're maybe starting to see LeBlanc work his way back into the game here. He's stonewalling in front to prevent raids coming from Siegfried. Let's check on what's going on up here to the top part of the map. Decent amount of knights, which are now Cavaliers actually for B. Myers. castles pretty close to each other for Milo and Whack. Whack continuing to kind of just patrol on that hill in front of his castle. And you get the feeling that they may just be running out of steam a bit, the Argentinians. Both American pockets now in Imperial Age and sending knights towards Maxi, it looks like. Not really the best coordinated attack ever in terms of timing. But here's B Money. Okay, B Myers just running right in. Gonna go right onto that town center, and he'll have sufficient support coming from Hassan there momentarily. And there's another castle going up a little bit in front of the original castle that Whack had built, right on that hill. Milo now also hitting Imperial Age, and Hassan is, I'm not sure where he's quite trying to go. Oh, he's actually going to go for Milo and leave B. Myers to it over here. Well, there is Maxi now hitting Imperial Age. Siegfried does have paladins now, and with Hassan's knights out, this is the time for Siegfried, I would think. He could do a lot of damage. It's still, well, there's still a decent amount of knights. He's actually going for the siege here of LeBlanc, who's continuing to actually fortify wall up. Meanwhile, all these knights in the base of Milo, there's not much back here for the Argentinian team to kind of defend with. Of course, it's Trebbing going on here as well with these Arbalists in tow for Whack. The Americans are in a very strong position here. And it seems to me that LeBlanc is doing his job here, which is just kind of delay, buy time for his opponents, who are doing a ton of work on both the pockets of the Argentinian team. Hassan in particular all over Milo here, as he's now also going to lose this castle to the Treb work of Whack and B. Myers. Look at all those Arbalists going in as well. Yeah, all these paladins here for Siegfried, but he's just kind of standing outside of the gate. Now he's got a couple of petards that are coming in, but well, the gate's already open. But it's bought Hassan quite a bit of time here to mess up. Well, actually, he's doing a decent job of getting over here onto Hassan, but they're falling behind too far economically at this point. It's a tough fight for Siegfried to be going up these hills against the castles, against the paladins, when look at what's going on back at home for them. Both Maxi and Milo in a world of hurt economically here. A couple of Magadai also coming out here for LeBlanc. Trying to repair this castle. All these villagers coming in to do that for LeBlanc. But the damage is done. It's Plumes now also coming out for Whack. And yeah, doesn't seem like it was going to happen here for the Argentinians. Made a very strong push, did so much damage to LeBlanc. But in the end, it wasn't enough. Hassan was able to deal with the sling when it finally was Siegfried who tried to head towards his base. Meanwhile, LeBlanc is built up pretty nicely. Even if he is now sort of getting run over, he's just bought so much time for the rest of his teammates here to do all this damage. Milo's basically out of the game at this point. Maxi not far behind. Aramis, well, from the nature of what he's chosen to do, what his team has chosen to do, is kind of out of the game as well. Well, it's looking pretty bleak for the Argentinians, but they haven't given up yet. Siegfried here with more paladins, but he is getting kind of these downhill shots coming at him from these Magadai, which are slowly getting their way towards all those Imperial Age upgrades that they need. as Milo saying that they've lost, there's no way back for them. Look at, oh my god, it's a ridiculous amount of archers here from Whack. Treb's coming as well in support. B. Myers hasn't really been able to get the Paladin upgrade yet, but expect it shortly. Son still with so many knights up top as he continues to also try to defend back at home. Well, I should say back at LeBlanc's home. But, I mean, LeBlanc certainly recognizes what's going on here. He's slowly dying, while 2, potentially 3, of the Argentinians are dying much faster. So, don't really expect to see complaints from him. Hard to blame Siegfried too much here, but yeah, the push does seem a little, could be maybe a little faster. But it does seem like it is a bit of a hopeless situation at this point for the Argentinian team. Though they did look for a bit like they were in quite a strong position. Are they actually breaking into Aramis yet? No, not quite yet. I've kind of given up on Milo here, who's got a reasonable amount of eco kind of still to the north. Continue to just run back, keep those Magadelli alive. It is LeBlanc. He does have 1 castle left. San's actually moved on to a largely Hussar army. You can see here's their trade, and maybe quite have a lot of it going just yet. But, I mean, look at all these archers and paladins now from B. Myers. It's not like the Argentinians are getting much trade going, it would appear. So Whack's gonna now park the plumes and the arbalist in the way here of this trade line. LeBlanc trying to get another castle up here. Yes, he's now... It is Siegfried who's kind of getting run out of the base here of LeBlanc. Ramps has tried to move on to Eagle Warriors here. Is he even... Imperial Age. No, he's not even Imperial Age. He's trying to get his way, work his way back into the game. But it's too late for him, unfortunately, with his teammates so crippled at the moment. Siegfried not giving up on this push on LeBlanc. Coming back with more paladins and trebs. Gonna try to treb down this castle. Maxi doing what he can with his paladins. Try to keep himself alive. Tough position. I mean, there's just castles all in where they would like to build their trade. From Whack here. You can see that B. Myers has moved back onto Milo, where he's kind of built to the north. And there it is. GG is called by Aramis, and he resigns. And it will be the United States who will take game 1 here on Arabia in a cool 51-minute match. It seemed like the Argentinians had the advantage for a bit there, but just weren't able to do quite enough damage. And ultimately, of course, when you're kind of slinging, you can see the way the population falls behind for Aramis. Feudal Age for so long, obviously. And you're not able to get a big advantage early on. You put yourself at a disadvantage later. Of course, that's the trade-off. So,